Hello everyone and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be having a good look at the Walther CP99 made by Umarex. I bought this CP99 in the year 2000, which is the year they first made this. This Umarex version is based on the P99, which began its production series in 1997. The original P99 also featured in several James Bond films, replacing the PPK and the P5. In its original form, this gun was designed to hold 16 9mm parabellum rounds, or 12 40 caliber Smith & Wesson. This in contrast is Co2 Powered and fires 177 pellets. Umarex supplied this pistol with two 8-shot rotary magazines and two differently sized pistol back straps. These are made of durable yet soft feeling rubber, which are small or medium in size. They can easily be swapped out by removing the pins on the grip. The small nodules on the back strap give a sense of reassuring grip. The pistol has a fixed front sight on the top slide, and that is made of metal and part of the actual slide body. The rear sight, however, is adjustable, but only on the horizontal plane. This too is made of metal. To adjust the rear sight, all you need to do is to move the rear part of the slide backwards, which in turn allows you to access the two screws needed to adjust the sight underneath. The barrel in the pistol is 3.3 inches long, or about 85mm, and this is rifled, which will certainly help with accuracy. Please use the correct size pellets and not steel balls, as this will wreck the rifling. The pistol feels solid in the hand and certainly feels robust. It also has very good clean looks. It feels well balanced and also very tactile when you're holding it in your hand. As you have a quick look around it, you just notice how everything is just well machined and well finished. It all seems to work together perfectly. At the front of the pistol we have a tactical rail to attach a laser or a torch. The CP99 has an extremely useful decocking button. If you wish to decock the pistol at any time, just press the button on the top rear of the slide. This will instantly decock the weapon. Further authenticity with the Walther logo is also dotted around the pistol. There is no silencer thread, but Umarex thankfully came up with a solution. Firstly, purchase the silencer kit, which is about £35, link in the description below. With the top slide closed and the gun in safety, unscrew the top slide screw. This will now allow you to attach the longer silencer screw and allow you to put the front plate on, which in turn will give you a dedicated thread with which to attach the silencer to. Screw it all back together with the included longer screw, making sure it's securely fastened. Just check to make sure it's attached properly and that everything looks uniform at the front. Now grab the silencer and screw it back onto the new thread you've created. And as with most things, make sure it's securely fastened and feels really snug. As mentioned before, this is a CO2 pistol, and you can get access to the CO2 cartridge area by using the magazine release catch, which is cleverly concealed within the rear of the trigger guard. This can be accessed from either side. When you press the magazine release catch, it drops out as if it is a real magazine full of bullets. Firstly, loosen the bottom of the magazine with a quarter of a turn. Then place your 12-round CO2 cartridge on the brass screw. Tighten the brass screw, making sure that the CO2 cartridge won't move. At this stage, it's important not to pierce the cartridge. Now we can use the bottom of the magazine to retighten the cartridge. This will ensure that nothing will move at all and it is pierced safely. It's normal to make a few mistakes and errors by wasting a few canisters. However, I'm trying to reduce the chance of that happening, as it is really frustrating. Slide the magazine back into position and give it a healthy tap. The gun now, to my mind, looks the business and certainly looks the part. Before loading the pistol, ensure the safety catch is on. Then press the top slide release catch. This now opens up the breech to allow us to put the rotary magazines in. When loading the pellets into the 8-shot magazine, you must ensure they are facing the correct direction. Load the pellets from the flat side of the magazine, with the hollow side of the pellet facing up towards you. Use your finger to push the pellet in until it runs flush with the top of the flat surface. It's best practice to keep checking each pellet as you put it in to make sure it's going to give it the best possible flight, and of course not to damage your pistol barrel. When you finish loading the magazine, have a good look around it to make sure the pellets are aligned properly. Then with the flat side of the magazine facing rearwards, just drop it into the breech. Then close the top slide until you can hear it click. To remove the magazine after shooting or whenever you wish to, just press the top slide catch again. Make sure your hand is covering the breech, because gravity will start pushing the magazine out, and therefore possibly losing it into the abyss known as the floor. I wanted to hear the difference between the silencer attached and not attached. A quick measure of the sound saw 105.5 decibels with the silencer on, and with the silencer removed I saw 107.2. So there was what I would describe as a marginal difference. The CP99 can be utilised in single or double action. When using the pistol in double action mode, there is significant pressure needed to be able to pull the trigger. To use single action mode, pull back the top slide to cock the pistol. This makes pulling the trigger a lot easier. There was a huge difference between double action and single action pressure needed to pull the trigger, so I decided to measure the two trigger pulls. To pull the trigger in double action mode took 6.31 pounds of pressure. when using single action, the pressure was quite a bit different. In fact, it showed a result of less than half of that needed for double action, 3.80 pounds. No wonder I could feel such a difference. Loaded and with a CO2 cartridge, the pistol weighs 746 grams. With a silencer kit added, it weighs 819 grams. The length of the pistol is about 7.5 inches, which is about 19 centimeters. The height is just under 5.5 inches, which is just under 14 centimeters. Over the chronograph, I was getting readings of about 415 to 421 feet per second, and that was with R10 pellets weighted at 7.7 grains, which is approximately 3.99 joules or 2.95 foot-pounds of energy. It seems that my generation of pistol was the very first, and they've changed it ever so slightly since then, including less power, together with a slightly different safety catch, as the one I have is just a slide backwards and forwards, whereas the new version has a button and slide backwards and forwards. Now to the farm to have some fun. The sun's out, I've got plenty of ammunition, I've got loads of CO2 cartridges. What more can you ask? I thought I'd use the same pellets I used in the Chronograph 10s. These are R10 7.7 grain 177. Before we start, I'm going to use a fresh new CO2 cartridge, which is normally good for 50 shots, which in turn equals plenty of plinking and lots of fun. Rather than using double action, I'm now going to cock it each time because it makes it easier for the trigger pull. But wish me the best luck. It's certainly windy. This is just over 10 meters. Oh, I've got a hit, which is good. Very windy. I think that's my lot. Okay, I just itching to have a look. Goodness gracious me! Gosh, talk about grouping. Well, it's definitely a right to left wind, and that's proving that. Wow! I'm surprised how good that is. Well, that's cool. That's interesting to know. Okay, can I try double action? More wind, unfortunately, but we'll give it a shot. Literally. Right, so I'm going to aim slightly to the right of the target this time. Double action. Well, I know I've got the GoPro, but let's have a quick butchers at this. Wow. Well, I was certainly aiming right. I was aiming about here, but it is windy, and the wind is definitely blowing from right to left. So a bit more time, less wind. This proved to be quite an accurate gun, and that's on double action, remember. So therefore, I'm pulling it a little bit. So it's not the best way of doing target shooting. You're better off using it on single. This is now 25 meters. So I'm not sure if it's going to hit, but we're here. Rifle barrel, let's give this a go. Okay, gotta negotiate this area. There's a few tractor tyre marks here, so I'm walking across just a bit away. So I'm probably going to speed this section up on video. Wow, yes it did. So 25 meters in the wind, it hit there. And the others are hitting low. Okay, so I'll give it one more shot. Excuse my French. Just so much humour abound here. Unfortunately, the GoPro died, so I can't show you the target, but you can hear it. There you go. a little bit of wind, not a load, but it's just picking up. So I'm just trying to aim slightly right. No. It's not working, is it? This pistol is certainly well made and a solid performer. It looks good and it's certainly very faithful to the original. There's only two shortfalls that I can see, one being that the trigger is actually made of plastic and not metal, and the other being that you have to buy a separate silencer kit. This could have been solved by having a screw thread built in. Only go for the silencer kit if you really want that look, but if you don't, then it's not worth it because the sound difference is almost negligible. The decocking button you don't think you'll ever use, but it does come in handy on those odd occasions you might need to decock the weapon. The ambidextrous magazine release is also a bonus. Apart from the trigger, every other component both inside and out is well made and well machined. This has been proven the fact that the gun you're looking at now is 25 years old and it's been used a lot. I've not had to replace anything apart from the front slide screw, which is because I mislaid it. Every aspect of this gun works very well and has never let me down. This pistol might not appeal to everyone because it doesn't have blowback. I'm glad it doesn't have this function because it affects the performance. The retail price of this gun seems to be around £165 to £175. If you like cool pistols, this is one that you have to have in your collection. Thank you very much to everyone who's been following me on this channel. If there are any more weapons you want me to cover or any other suggestions, please let me know and I will be very happy to oblige.